HaruInKorea, and I'm back with another video. As you can see, I'm standing up again. I think I'm gonna make this like my storytelling space because I don't know, I just really like the way my last video turned out, so that's why I'm standing up again. Anyway, the video that I want to make today is again kind of related to being Black in Korea, but I'm going to focus more on how I handle being Black in Korea as a teacher. And so this video is kind of going to be focused on like how I react to my students if they make like some kind of like racist comment or discriminatory comment, or if they're like laughing at people of different cultures or things like that, and how I kind of use those moments to shape them into learning experiences for my students. So a little bit of background about me. I'm a private school teacher, and so from 9 to 3 I teach 4-year-old students, and from 3 to 4:45 I teach 6-year-old students. So for the most part, my 6-year-old students, they've had some type of contact with a foreigner teacher before. Most of them went to the school that I work at in their previous years. So when they were like 3, 4, and 5, they went to my school. So somebody's kind of already taught them about different backgrounds and different cultures. So for the most part, I never really have an issue with my elementary students making some type of comment or laughing at people of different backgrounds. But my kindergarten students, they're little babies. They come to me when they're 4, and they don't know any English whatsoever. So probably I'm the first foreigner teacher they've ever seen, definitely the first English teacher they've ever had, and I might even be the first Black person they've ever seen in person. And so that is a big responsibility. So if I'm going to be the first Black person, or even the first non-Korean person that they've ever seen, it is very important for me to put on a good impression in the way of, I don't want them to immediately just have negative thoughts of the first like foreign person they've ever met. So it is a big responsibility, but I enjoy teaching my students about different cultures, and whenever they make some type of comment that's just rude, I make sure to catch them on it right away. Me and my co-teacher are like a great partner team. We're catching things left and right. If a student ever says anything, like we shut that down immediately. So when my students first come to me, the first thing they notice about me is my hair. So as you can see, my hair is in box braids, and I usually keep it like this throughout the year. So when they come, they have never seen box braids before. Like, it is like the weirdest thing in the world to them to just see braids coming out of somebody's head. Like, all of my students are immediately shook, and some of them are kind of like scared by it actually. So if my students are scared by it, I tell them, I'm like, can you ask to touch Miss Brianna's hair? And then they ask, can I touch? And I'll be like, yeah. And so 1, I'm teaching them to ask before they touch something, and then 2, it gives them the chance to touch my hair because I know they're going to be curious about it. Like, they've never seen it before, so I don't want to like scare them with my hair, so I allow them to ask and then touch it, and then I'm hoping they won't be scared by it anymore. Usually it takes about a month before my students kind of start to accept me. They definitely are closer with my Korean teacher first, just because she's Korean and that's what they're used to. But yeah, when my students first come, one of the first things they say to me is just 머리가 이상해요, like just like her hair is weird. Like, and so whenever me and my co-teacher hear that, we're just like, no, you do not say Miss Brianna's hair is weird, you say Miss Brianna's hair is pretty. Oh, I love Miss Brianna's hair. Like, me and my co-teacher will be at the front of the classroom like doing little role plays like, oh, can I touch your hair? Yeah, you can touch my hair. Wow, your hair is so pretty. It's different than my hair, but I still like your hair. Like, we be having these little role plays all the time if a student ever talks about my hair in a bad way. And we don't ever yell at them. We're not trying to scare them. We're just trying to teach them about a different culture or a different background than theirs. And so it's actually quite funny because I always take videos of my students and I send them to my parents, and in these videos the students are always being like, Miss Brianna's hair is so pretty, or Miss Brianna is so pretty. One more time. Thank you, Grace, I love you. And my dad made a joke. He's like, is that the only thing you teach your students? And I'm like, listen, yeah, it's important for them, you know. I'm not trying to walk into class every day and them making bad comments about me, which then means that if they see another foreigner or another Black person or another person who's just different than them, they're then going to make comments badly about that person. So if they're complimenting me on my differences, then I'm hoping that means that they will go and take those compliments to other people that they see who look different than them. So, you know, that's my reasoning, but it also is really just, I love when my students be telling me I'm pretty, so there's benefits in both ways. So I do have one specific story that I want to tell you guys about a time when I used a student laughing at a black person on TV or the computer as a learning experience. So this happened about maybe 7 months into the kids being in my classroom. So even though they've kind of been exposed to different cultures and different backgrounds, for the most part, they don't really see these different cultures and backgrounds. They just kind of see like me as a foreign teacher, and then they've seen my family and things like that. But there are people who look way different than me and they've never seen these people before. So one of the themes that we teach at my school is around the world, and it lasts for about 2 months. And during this theme, obviously we're just teaching kids about lots of different countries around the world. And so we start in Asia, you know, a place where the students are comfortable. And when we're teaching the kids about Asia, for the most part, like, the Asian people don't look so much different from them. So they're not really making any comments. But then it got time to teach about different countries in Africa. And during this time, me and my co-teacher, we played a song where it taught you how to say hello in different languages. And so the first time I played this song, like, it has like a bunch of different countries, and when it got to Kenya, like, I would say 7 or 8 out of 12 of my students just started pointing and laughing when the little character from Kenya came up, and they were just going hard, like pointing and laughing for like a while. And even after that person from Kenya passed, they still kept laughing. And it was kind of one of those hard days for me, like in the way of like, if you're a teacher, you know, you have those days where you're like, I'm just so lazy. I just want to put on this video, sit down, and I don't want to do anything else. So that was the mentality I was in. But the moment I heard them laughing at this black character, I was like, I have to teach my students. Like, I can't be letting this stuff pass. So I immediately pause the video. I say nothing. I'm not trying to scare them, but I just want them to know that I'm angry. So I say nothing to them. I grab a chair, they're all sitting on the carpet. I put the chair on the carpet and I just sit down, and I just want to be like right in their face. Like, I want them to know that I'm looking right at them. And all of the students are like, Miss Brianna, why did you pause the video? Why did the video stop? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh, can anybody tell me why Miss Brianna stopped the video? And one girl who didn't laugh raised her hand, and she was like, because is laughing. And I was like, yes. People were laughing at the video, so Miss Brianna paused the video. And so I wanted to ask the students who were laughing why they were laughing at the video. And so I picked one boy. I was like, can you tell me why you were laughing at the video? And he kind of knew that I wasn't happy, so he didn't really want to answer me at first. And I was like, it's okay, just tell me, why were you laughing at the video? I want to hear. And so he points to his skin and he's like, skin is different, skin is dark. And I was like, okay, and what else was funny? Just the skin color? And he kind of just gave this look, but I knew his answer was yes, that's why he was laughing, because the skin color was really dark. And so I immediately backed the video up and I put it on the Korean person. And I was like, is this funny? Is anybody laughing at this video? And they're like, no, it's not funny. And I was like, why? Because that person looks like us. I was like, okay, I understand now. So once I fully understood what the issue was, I guess, or exactly why they were laughing, I just wanted to make sure. So then I called the boy up who I had called on, who was laughing, and I'm like, let's put our hands together. And so we do. And I was like, are our skin colors the same? And he's like, no. I was like, Miss Brianna's skin color is darker, right? And he's like, yes. I was like, is Miss Brianna funny? And then it's like, it clicked in his head. He's like, oh, this is why I shouldn't be laughing. And so then he's like, no. And I was like, okay, what about my hair? Can you see my hair? Is it different from your hair? And they're like, yeah. Is it funny? No. Would you laugh at Miss Brianna? No. And I was like, why? Why would you not laugh at Miss Brianna? And they're like, because then Miss Brianna be sad. I was like, exactly. That was exactly the point that I was trying to get at. And I was just like, I know they're like 4, and at this point 4 or 5 years old, but just like, I love when I have learning experiences with the children, when just something clicks in their head and you hope, and well, not even hope, you know it's gonna follow them for the rest of their life. So after all of that, I still wasn't done with the learning experience, because I was like, I'm getting this in your head. So I told them, I was like, okay, let's pretend that we're all in Kenya, okay? And we're all Kenyan students, and we're watching this video, and then the Korean person comes up and all of the Kenyan people laugh. Would you like that? Would you think it's funny? And they're all like, no, no, no. I was like, exactly. That is why we're not laughing when a person of a different skin color or a person who looks different from Korean people come up on the screen. And it seemed like they all understood, and I basically was like, if I hear you laughing ever again like this at a person of a different skin color or a person who looks different from you, we're not watching the video anymore. And they're all like, yes, yes, and we all did pinky promises, and it seemed like it really stuck in their head, and it never happened again. I never heard my students laugh at a black person or just any person who looked different from them on the screen again. And I was like, yes, I did it. I taught them. So not only do I teach my students not to make fun of, you know, black people or people who are darker than them, I'm also trying to teach them to just be accepting and loving of everybody. So around the same time where the incident happened with the video and my students laughing at the person from Kenya, around this time is when Korea and Japan was going through, I don't know what you'd call it, like, but basically Korea was mad at Japan for not, you know, acknowledging, you know, the comfort women situation. And so this was happening around the same time. And so, you know, as 4-year-old students, they can't possibly comprehend all of what's going on, but they listen to their parents, and basically their parents are just being like, we hate Japan, we don't like Japan, we're not buying from Japan, like, just Japan's a really bad place. And so my students would come, and we have circle time in the morning. And so during circle time, I work at a Christian school, so we have to pray. And so I'd ask my students, what do you guys want to pray for? And they're like, let's pray for everybody in the world to be happy and healthy. I was like, good job. And then another student might be like, I don't want to pray for Japan because Japan people are mean and I don't like Japan. And my dad says Japan is bad. And listen, like, I understand these parents are telling their kids that, and I'm not really like, I mean, I understand why Korea is mad at Japan. I really do. But I can't have my students speaking like that. So it actually did take me a minute to realize, like, how am I going to deal with this? Because there is a deep history behind why Koreans are very angry at Japan. And I know my students could never understand that, so I just have to break it down. So I'm like, listen, Miss Brianna knows that Japan and Korea were fighting. They're always fighting. But instead of saying, I don't like Japanese people, or I don't want to pray for Japanese people, why don't we pray that God can help us understand each other more? That God can help Korean people and Japanese people to understand each other and to stop fighting. And after I said that, like, the students, they were cool with praying with that. That's what we prayed about. And then for like the next couple of days, like every time I'd be like, what do you guys want to pray about? Can we pray about Japan and Korea understanding each other? I was like, yes, we can. Good job. You're doing it right. So yeah, I really, again, I love having just wonderful teaching moments with my students. I love watching their eyes kind of widen, or kind of like things just snap into place and click when they understand something. And I'm just like, yes, I'm doing a good job. So yeah, I don't really know how long that video was. I don't really know if it was interesting to you guys or not. Let me know if you liked it or not in the comment section. But yeah, I very much do enjoy being a teacher in Korea. There are a lot of issues and a lot of problems, but for the most part, like, I just love, you know, giving my students a chance to meet somebody who's not Korean, and I love teaching them, and I love by the end of the year, it seems to me like they have a way better understanding than they had at the beginning of the year. So I do very much enjoy being a teacher here. But yeah, I hope you guys liked that video. If you did, please make sure to give me a like, make sure to subscribe to my channel, make sure to give me a comment, and I will see you guys later. Bye!